Hello guys and welcome to the STPL. You are joined today once again by myself and Rapid, who has fixed his camera now, so life is good. He was about to be a spinning circle, but tech triumphs in the end.
Yeah, I had Kix's expert assistance here. I don't know. Also, the main technical difficulty on my part is that it's 5 in the morning. So, like, you know, the best case scenario here is like maybe a 6 out of 10 at best, but the games should make up for that other 4. Also, maybe you can tell by my voice I'm a little bit sick. So if you hear a hacking cough in the middle of the games, that's just me trying to cast my own death.
Okay, well hopefully you don't die on stream. I don't want to be liable for anything. That would be a little bit awkward, and also I'm not really sure how to call an ambulance in Korea, so let's hope that doesn't happen. We've got a couple of good games coming up today regardless, and should be pretty cool.
Yes, it should be Kix, as is always the case for the STPL. We're running with 1.5 commentators, but we should have at least 2.5 games, so that should mean that the average is 2, which is the correct... I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we go. Let's take a look at the teams from Group A, Kix.
Yeah, so Group A, we're going to have 2 of them here. We're going to have Media versus aSh, so second place against last place. Obviously, aSh will not be able to qualify for the playoffs this round, but Media are in hot contention for it. If they can win this game with a big enough margin, they are going to close the gap between them and Naz, who are currently just ahead of them, and of course they will break slightly ahead of FBW, who are just behind them by a single game. But let's not forget White Clan as well, just behind them with a +6 difference, so equal difference. Obviously they have lost one more series, so if Media can get through Week 6, Week 7, and Naz can get through Week 6 and Week 7, and FBW can get through Week 6 and Week 7 without losing a single game, they will guarantee that White Clan, the champions of Round 1 and Round 2, will not make it through. And that's something I'm excited to see if it's going to happen. Obviously the 2 teams here, just have a quick look at their stats. Media didn't do as well last round. They were actually 1 for 5, just ahead of aSh. But aSh, with a similar... with similar stats to the last round, they've had a few... Well, in Round 2 they had a few activity problems. And in Round 3, they've been in an incredibly strong group. Just to quickly go through the maps. Set 1, Katrina SE. Set 2, Shin Peaks of Baekdu. Set 3, Neo Ground Zero. Set 4, Plasma. And Set 5, that ace match on Coliseum, if we do get there. Now, of course, just have a quick look at the lineups as well. We're going to start with a PVT between Dentarg and Nyoken on Katrina. PVZ between Herbie and Jaeyoon, a TVT between Jax and Gypsy, and then a TVP between Logan and Future. So we've got only one mirror, but a hell of a lot of Protoss in this matchup. Actually, I think this is probably the highest percentage of Terrans we've actually had in a single matchup, which is kind of cool.
What's that? Media's playing, and it's a high percentage of Terran kicks.
But it's not even Media. It's 50% of both teams are being Terran this time. So
I'm just memeing on Media Terrans. Somewhere out there, Idra's like eye is twitching right now, but you get the idea. I'm happy that there's a lot of Terrans here. A lot of times we just have lots and lots of Protoss players, so it's a lot of mirrors. But it actually should be fun. It's still an uphill battle for aSh now that this is the new and improved Media. Picking up players like Jaeyoon really kind of helped him out because he's like super active and really up on the meta and practices a lot. So
yeah,
same thing with Nyoken, always a huge strength to their roster. And I don't know, you know, I believe in guys like Dentarg and Herbie, but it's been a struggle for aSh all season. So, you know, I hope they can turn it around, but we'll see.
Yeah, Dentarg gonna be our first play here for aSh now. Dentarg is the captain of aSh, did take over from Tashadan when he stepped down in the middle, I believe it was, of round 1. And then he had a few problems, but he's still here. aSh are still fighting, and they've got a little bit of a stronger roster now. It's taken them a long time to get to this point, but this could be the start of a turnaround from them. They've not given, I believe, any walkovers this round, whereas they gave a hell of a lot last round. So that's always a good thing to see, a team gaining a little bit of strength. he is going to be up against the strongest Terran on media at the moment, one of the strongest Terrans in North America right now. It's going to be Nyoken, 3-for-1 this round, and he's actually 3-for-1 against Protoss as well. One of those rare Terrans that doesn't mind the TVP matchup from what I understand. But they're going to be moving on here on Katrina SE. Now Katrina SE, a pretty cool map. We've actually had 4 PBTs on there already, 2-1 by both sides. So it should be a relatively even playing field for them both here. As we get into game, well, I say as we get into game number 1, but Rapid, I think you're actually in the wrong game. Because I can't see you in my lobby. It said you entered a game though. And Rapid's muted himself somehow. That's really clever. I don't know how he's managed to do that. There we go.
Oh
you're
my
back.
gosh, this is just a total tragedy today, Kix. There's no successes allowed. Okay, join this one, that one. Okay, sick. I did it. I'm just busy killing esports over here at the same time.
Together we counter each other out. I'm saving and killing esports, and so are you. It's like a big mess of like esports over here. But here we go. Let's get into game number 1. It's Dentarg versus Nyoken on Katrina SE. Now I've got to make sure I hide the replay progress bar, because usually I have this done already. But here we go, starting us off in the top middle position. We do have the Yellow Terran fighting for media. It's Nyoken.
And his opponent down at the 6 o'clock location in orange as Protoss. Playing for aSh, it is Dentarg.
Now, if you'll excuse me 1 second, I'm just going to quickly mute my microphone so I can write up the poll. I meant to mention this before we started, but I didn't. My bad, but there we go.
I knew you would kill esports sooner or later, Kix.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time. I sit here day in and day out, waking up at 5 a.m. to save it, and I still can't counter your destructive tendencies, Kix. This is what your parents warned you about when they told you to turn your life around. They knew that someday you would grow up to kill esports, and they were trying to turn you around, but you just wouldn't listen to them. And now look at where you are.
I'm in the forefront of casting Brood War, so life is good.
Yeah, life is good, Kix. It's always good to be here. So, yeah, wow, we've really seen a huge divergence in early game PvT. Wait until we get to mid game PvT when one player has tanks and the other player has gateway units. Ooh, really gonna be
that's my favorite
really gonna be
part.
revolutionizing the matchup.
I guess this is one of the funny things when it comes to casting any RTS, and I think one of the major reasons why they wanted to speed up the beginning of StarCraft 2 games, because there is this kind of awkward lull where you don't see a probe go out into the middle of the map, so you know it's going to be pretty standard. There's not even going to be a gas steal, obviously a little bit harder to gas steal on a 4-player map as it is, but even harder when it comes to this map, just on the basis that it'll take so long for your probe to actually get there, unless you send one of your first probes. And Nyoken isn't adverse to going for something like a 1-Rax fast expand either, so things are doing pretty good for him.
No, a 1-Rax fast expand would be something to talk about, Kix. Unfortunately, you know, I don't think that we're going to see anything aside from this. Like, Nyoken for a while.
Fast expand.
Yeah, I think that's something that. So for a while, Nyoken was like a sick 1-1-1 apologist. Like he was just like, oh my gosh, this build is so good. Because obviously, you know, it's a build that's doing very well in South Korea. A lot of really strong Terrans. In the forefront of TV everything. We're trying it out, and it's just like, well, okay, you can do this, but I don't know if it's having such a good time nowadays. I feel like we're finally starting to see sort of the cycle kick in again. You know, back in the day, this is why you have guys like a very strong Zerg player, and then also like guys like Bisu, guys like Flash, like who revolutionized the metas for their respective races. That was really remarkable, but it was only because everybody was just playing and practicing and trying to figure everything out at the top level. And I think
Yeah,
now we're actually getting back to kind of a phase of competitive play where, you know, we've been through maybe five, 6 seasons of ASL. We've been through, you know, almost 2 seasons of KSL, and we're starting to really kind of hit the stride of, okay, players are out there, they're practicing, they want to win, they're really developing and innovating. And so I think that it's you're starting to see builds come and go, and that actually that takes a while in Brood War because things are so figured out. But I think it is actually starting to happen. And wait, what is this start? Okay, sorry, I saw the engineering bay go down. I was like,
yeah.
that's not supposed to be there, but that's what happens when you look at the mini map and you don't click there, Kicks.
Yep, he put the engine room in there to stop the probe trying to build that Nexus. It's going to be just a little bit of an annoyance. Obviously, Nyoken going to cancel that at the very last second.
Yeah, but
Everything.
Kicks, as a Protoss player, why wouldn't you just build your Nexus right next to it and then lift it and put it on oh, no other race can do.
Even then, it's not like even for Terran, that's not necessarily economically viable. It takes a long time to float. Obviously, it is only a little area, but that's time where you could be mining. So you could just play Zerg and then just build an extra hatchery next to it afterwards. That's something that we like to see Zerg players do, but obviously Protoss get the short end of the stick here. But I think this is more. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I think this is payback for all those blocked hatcheries, blocked command centers, just everything that Protoss does. Taste of their own medicine.
That is true. Every time a bad thing happens to a Protoss player early game, justice is served.
Yeah.
Truly, an angel gets its wings, something like that. But no, I know what you say. I know what you're saying. It's actually kind of cool to see both players kind of being very vigilant with scouting. You're seeing Dragoons head across the map, and they're wiggling their way, not just totally the straightest path there, but scouting out a few things. Probe is now just now going to return back home. But we're gonna see the standard PvT beginning, where Dragoons with range start hitting the bunker, the SCVs repair it, the siege tanks come out, siege mode finishes, and you know we all know the song and dance.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all fairly normal, but one thing that isn't normal is Dentarg taking a very, very quick third base of this mineral only. Now, mineral only obviously not as impactful. Early game in PvT, obviously you can get a lot of extra gateways with that, a lot of extra zealots. But Dentarg's still on one gateway for now, so his unit production is going to be behind that of the Terran. And that's when things can get a little bit dicey early game if Nyoken can suddenly gain enough power behind this. One Rax FE obviously gives you the option of going for something like a 4-fact push. Dentarg could be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I wasn't hitting with one of those Dragoons, so yeah, Dentarg's gonna have to pull back there. Nyoken, really solid timings, and then so he's gonna be able to get everything up in time for the defense. But you know, there's actually quite a few okay, so that's just like them Maynarding out. I forget the way that the paths work on this map, because like you would think to yourself, well, why don't you just send it straight from one nexus to another nexus? But it's the third that's coming up right now. And so for Protoss, it feels like Dentarg is maybe a little bit ahead of schedule here. Obviously, that's because he expanded to mineral only, which is not always the choice that you see Protoss players go to. But this is really beautiful timing here by Nyoken. He's hitting right as the probes transfer over there. Kills almost every single probe and then gets away with it.
And the amazing thing is he didn't even know that Nexus was there. He actually hadn't scouted that part of the map, so those vultures
well, it's like
were trying
on
to go
the
to the
pathway for the vultures, but you're correct. He actually went straight there instead of the fastest way to the main. So I think he had like an idea, and it's the best case scenario. It's like, well, if it's here, then I'll hit it, and if it's not, then you know, whatever, I'll just keep going.
Yep, and we are going to see Dentarg behind this. Sorry, we're going to see Nyoken behind this go for a dropship. Not the most common play, but seeing a lot more traction recently. The fancy-loving Terran inside of me feels very happy of that, especially the Lita versus... I can't remember who it was, but it was still a 6 series. But regardless, the Looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out. Drops obviously very strong on this map, and we're going to see Dentarg going for his own one, going for that Reaver, going for speed on his shuttle as well, but Nyoken has pulled the switch. He thinks he has enough to push forward. He knows there is a lack of Dragoons on the map. Some of them are actually a little bit further behind as well, trying to defend the main, and these tanks are going to be moving in right away.
Yeah, they certainly are. Now, obviously, this is exactly what you want to do as a Protoss player. You want to get out there on the map, force some sieges, stop these tanks from just walking into your base. This dropship is kind of a cool little part of this push that I haven't really seen most players go for. So really cool to see a harassment at the back while the tanks are allowed to push forward and siege this mineral-only expansion. So this is all of a sudden really, really interesting. And it's not every day you get to see Reaver harass versus Vulture harass, but I think the Vultures win every time there, Kicks.
Yeah, the trouble is the Reaver can't actually drop out. Oh, he needs to pick it up.
Ah, friendly fire on the probe explode and or on the mine drag there. So that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, and the trouble is Dentarg had to pull all of his units away from that main. And that means those Vultures are still able to just sit there and do anything they want. The Reaver actually being dropped on the tank, going down immediately. And it looks like Nyoken may have Dentarg's number here. GG! A lot of the probes going on the natural, the third base going down. And Nyoken quickly and surgically takes out Dentarg in game number 1.
Yeah, I was trying to laugh there at the end, but I actually wound up just like dying. My my throat has seen better days. But, aha! I'm doing it. I'm killing you, Kicks.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
You're
all part of the plan. You'll never make it out of here alive, Kicks.
Oh boy, I hope I do. Smash Ultimate comes out tomorrow, so looking forward to that.
True. Yeah, so Smash does come out tomorrow. I have been playing a dubious advanced copy, and I'm going to be playing that with all the StarCraft casters tomorrow at a little tournament thing. So
nice.
I've got that to practice tomorrow. But actually, in truth, Kicks, today is tomorrow because of the time zone advantage. So haha, yeah. Checkmate. So yes, I have that to look forward to as well. So we both have to make it. Just promise me that you'll never let go, Kicks.
Am I the one on the table, or are you on the one on the table? Like,
oh no! I'm by far the one on the table, Kicks.
Okay,
like,
wow.
I'm the one that like says never let go, but then actually lets go. He's like, let's just be real. Like, we have to have preservation of the species. So like, one less Leonardo DiCaprio's. That does make you Leonardo DiCaprio, though. So that's consolation prize.
Yeah, that's not bad. All I can ever think about when I think of that movie, though, is like the way you can put it towards climate change. There's like an analogy of some guy standing on the boat as it's like tipping upwards at like a 90-degree angle, and some guy saying the ship's sinking, and it's like, well, how is the ship sinking if I'm 50 foot up in the air? It's just so dumb, but it's so funny. But either way, we're gonna go into game number 2 when we get back after this. See you guys soon.